I traveled for work. My grandson was getting thinner, but what I found on those cameras would make me question everything I thought I knew about the woman my son had married.
Before we continue, comment where you're watching from and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see how far our stories are reaching.
The flight from Seattle landed 40 minutes late. I dragged my carry-on through Toledo Express Airport at 9:47 p.m. My shoulders aching from 3 weeks of back-to-back audits. The rental car smelled like artificial pine and someone else's coffee. I turned the heat up to 72 and drove home through empty streets, thinking about Jamie's voice on our last call. He'd sounded tired, distant. The house was dark except for the blue glow of the TV in the living room. I used my key quietly, not wanting to wake anyone. My shoes came off in the mudroom. The hardwood floor was cold under my feet. Claire was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looked up and smiled. "You're home early. Flight got lucky with the wind." I set my bag down. "Where's Jamie?" "Asleep. He had a long day at soccer practice." She stood and stretched. Her yoga pants were pristine. Her hair was pulled back in a perfect ponytail. "Want me to heat up dinner?" "I made chicken marsala for the kids." I shook my head. "I ate on the plane. I'll just check on Jamie." His bedroom door was open an inch. I pushed it wider and stood in the doorway, letting my eyes adjust to the darkness. Jamie was curled on his side, facing the wall. The nightlight near his dresser cast soft shadows across his face. I stepped closer. His cheekbones were sharper than I remembered. The skin under his eyes looked bruised. His wrist, resting on top of the blanket, seemed thinner. I reached out and touched his forehead. Cool, normal temperature. He stirred but didn't wake. I pulled the blanket up to his shoulder and left the room. Claire was in the kitchen, pouring herself a glass of wine. "Everything okay?" "He looks thin." She took a sip and leaned against the counter. "He's been picky lately. Won't eat half the things I cook." "What does he eat?" "Cereal mostly. Sometimes toast. I try to get him to eat protein, but he just pushes it around his plate." She shrugged. "Kids go through phases." I opened the refrigerator. Leftover chicken marsala in a glass container. A package of deli turkey. Baby carrots. Greek yogurt. Almond milk. Nothing seemed unusual. I closed the door and looked at Claire. "Has he been sick?" "No, just picky." "Honestly, Edith, I think he's testing boundaries. Michael's working those long shifts at the hospital and you're gone a lot. Jamie knows I won't force him to eat like you would." The words landed like small cuts. "You're gone a lot. Like it was a choice. Like I wanted to spend 21 days a month in conference rooms and hotel beds. I'll talk to him tomorrow." "Good idea." Claire finished her wine and rinsed the glass. "I'm going to bed. Madison has dance at 8. After she left, I stood in the kitchen for a long time. The clock on the microwave said 10:34. I walked back to Jamie's room and stood in the doorway again. His breathing was even, peaceful, but something about the shape of him under that blanket felt wrong. I went to the laundry room and found his school uniform in the hamper. The shirt was size medium. He'd worn a small at the start of the school year. I held it up to the light. The fabric hung loose at the sides. I checked the waistband of his khaki pants. The belt was fastened on the tightest notch. There were new holes punched in the leather, crude and uneven. My son Michael had bought Jamie that belt 2 years ago, right before his father Richard died, right before everything changed. Michael had said, "Mom, make sure he's okay while I'm working these double shifts. I can't be there as much as I want." I'd promised. I'd told him I'd watch over Jamie, that I'd make sure my grandson had everything he needed. I folded the uniform and put it back in the hamper. Then I went to the kitchen trash can and opened it. Takeout containers from Romano's Steakhouse. 3 of them. The receipt was crumpled at the bottom. 127, 43s, dated 2 days ago. I pulled out my phone and checked our shared family account, the one Michael set up so I could help with household expenses. Romano's Steakhouse, 127.43. Bamboo Garden, $89, 22. Lucia's Italian Kitchen, 156.78, all within the past 2 weeks. All while I was in Seattle, auditing a manufacturing plant. Claire had told me she was cooking at home to save money. She'd shown me meal prep containers in the refrigerator before I left. Grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, brown rice. I closed the trash can and walked upstairs. Claire was already in the guest room she shared with Michael when he was home, her phone plugged in on the nightstand. I had my own room down the hall since Richard died. Michael had insisted I stay in the house after the funeral. "It's your home, Mom. Don't leave because of me and Claire." I didn't say anything to Claire. I just went to my room and stared at the ceiling. The house settled around me. The furnace kicked on. Somewhere down the hall, Madison coughed in her sleep. Jamie's face kept appearing in my mind. Those sharp cheekbones, that thin wrist. The next morning, I woke up before everyone else. I made coffee and sat at the kitchen table with my laptop. The audit reports could wait. I opened a new browser tab and searched. Sudden weight loss in children. The results were frightening. Diabetes, thyroid problems, eating disorders, cancer. I closed the laptop when I heard footsteps on the stairs. Jamie appeared in the doorway wearing his dinosaur pajamas. They used to fit snugly. Now they hung off his frame like they belonged to someone else. "Morning, Grandma." "Morning, buddy." I stood and pulled him into a hug, his ribs pressed against my arms. "Missed you." "Missed you too." He pulled away and went to the pantry. He took out a box of Cheerios and poured a bowl. No milk, just dry cereal. "Want me to make you eggs?" I asked. "Or pancakes?" "I'm okay with this." Claire came down a minute later, already dressed. "Morning, Madison, Tyler, breakfast." The other two kids thundered down the stairs. Madison was 8, Tyler was 6. Both of them looked healthy. Pink cheeks, bright eyes. Tyler grabbed a banana from the counter. Madison asked for waffles. Claire pulled out a box of Eggo waffles from the freezer and popped 2 in the toaster. She poured orange juice for both kids. Then she looked at Jamie. "You need to eat more than that." He didn't look up from his bowl. "I'm not hungry. You're never hungry." She turned to me. "See what I mean?" I watched Jamie eat. Small bites. Mechanical. Like he was fulfilling an obligation rather than satisfying hunger. After breakfast, I drove him to school. We didn't talk much. He stared out the window. When we pulled up to the drop-off zone, I put the car in park. "Jamie, are you okay?" "Yeah." "You can tell me if something's wrong." He looked at me then. His eyes were the same green as his grandfather Richard's. "I'm fine, Grandma. Just tired." He got out and walked toward the building. His backpack looked enormous on his narrow shoulders. I sat there for a long time, watching other kids go inside, laughing, running. Jamie walked slowly, alone. When I got home, Claire was loading the dishwasher. Madison and Tyler were in the living room, watching cartoons. "Claire, I want to take Jamie to the doctor." She turned around. "Why? He's fine." "He's not fine. He's lost weight." "Kids lose weight when they grow taller. It's normal. Not like this." She closed the dishwasher and crossed her arms. "Edith, I've been here every day. I see him eat. He's just going through a phase. Then a doctor can confirm that." Her jaw tightened. "Fine. Make an appointment. But you're overreacting." I called the pediatrician that afternoon. The earliest appointment was in 2 weeks. I took it and marked it on the calendar. That night, I made Jamie's favorite dinner: spaghetti with meatballs, garlic bread, Caesar salad. I set the table and called everyone down. Madison and Tyler came running. They grabbed bread and piled spaghetti on their plates. Claire served herself a small portion, watching her carbs. Jamie sat down and stared at his empty plate. "Help yourself, buddy," I said. He took 1 meatball, a small spoonful of pasta, no bread. "That's it?" Claire said. "Your grandma made your favorite. I'm not that hungry." I watched him eat. 3 bites of meatball, 2 forkfuls of spaghetti. Then he pushed his plate away. "May I be excused?" I nodded. He left the table and went upstairs. Claire shook her head. "I told you. Picky eater." That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the takeout receipts, about Jamie's ribs, about the belt with the extra holes, about the promise I'd made to Michael. At 2:47 a.m., I got out of bed and went downstairs. I opened the trash can again and pulled out every receipt I could find. 8 from the past 3 weeks, all expensive restaurants, all while I was traveling. I spread them on the counter and took photos with my phone. Then I went back to bed and lay there in the dark, listening to the house settle around me, wondering what exactly I had missed while I was gone. The next morning, I confronted Claire in the kitchen. Madison and Tyler were in the backyard on the trampoline. Jamie was still asleep. I found the receipts. She was loading the dishwasher. She didn't look up. What receipts? Romano's, Bamboo Garden, Lucia's. You told me you were cooking at home. She closed the dishwasher and turned around. I cook most nights. Sometimes I get takeout. Is that a crime? You spent over $300 in 2 weeks. The kids needed to eat, Edith. You weren't here to do it. The words hit exactly where she intended. That's not the point. Then what is the point? She crossed her arms. You travel constantly. Michael works 16-hour shifts at the hospital. I'm here managing 3 kids by myself. If I order dinner occasionally, I don't think that's unreasonable. Jamie's losing weight because he won't eat. Her voice rose slightly. I put food in front of him. He refuses it. What am I supposed to do? Force feed him. Maybe try cooking things he actually likes. She laughed. It wasn't a pleasant sound. I do. He pushes it away. Ask Madison. Ask Tyler. They see it every night. As if on cue, Madison came inside, breathless from jumping. Mom, can we have popsicles? After lunch. Claire looked at me. Madison, honey, does Jamie eat the dinners I make? Madison shook her head. He never eats anything. He says he doesn't like it. See? Claire said. I looked at Madison. What did you eat last night? Spaghetti. It was really good. And Jamie? He had some. But then he said his stomach hurt and went upstairs. Claire's expression said, I told you so without speaking. I spent the rest of the morning in my office, answering emails. At noon, I heard Claire calling the kids for lunch. I went downstairs. She'd made grilled cheese sandwiches. Tyler and Madison were already eating. Jamie sat at the table with an empty plate. You want grilled cheese? I asked him. Not really. What do you want? He shrugged. I'm okay. You need to eat something. I had cereal this morning. That was 4 hours ago. Claire was at the sink, washing dishes. See what I deal with? I made Jamie a sandwich anyway. Cut it into triangles the way he used to, like when he was smaller. Put it in front of him. He looked at it like it was homework. 3 bites, I said. That's all I'm asking. He picked it up, took a small bite, chewed slowly, swallowed like it hurt. Took another bite. Then he set it down. I'm full. You ate 2 bites. I know, I'm full. Tyler finished his sandwich and asked for another. Claire made him a second one. He ate it in 4 large bites, cheese stretching between the bread in his mouth. After lunch, I followed Jamie upstairs. Can we talk? About what? About why you're not eating. He sat on his bed and picked at the bedspread. I eat. Not enough. You're losing weight. I'm fine, Grandma. Jamie, please. If something's wrong, you can tell me. He looked up. His eyes were tired. Old. Nothing's wrong. I'm just not hungry a lot. Is it school? Are kids being mean? No. Is it Claire? Are you guys fighting? No, she's fine. Then what is it? He stared at his hands. Can you just leave it alone? I wanted to push, demand answers, but the exhaustion in his voice stopped me. Okay, but I'm taking you to the doctor in 2 weeks. Fine. I left him there and went back downstairs. Claire was on the couch, scrolling through Instagram, pictures of healthy meals, smoothie bowls, avocado toast. Did he tell you anything? She asked. No, because there's nothing to tell. He's being a difficult 10-year-old. I didn't respond. I went to my office and closed the door. That night, Claire ordered pizza. She got 2 large ones, pepperoni and supreme. Tyler ate 3 slices. Madison ate 2. Claire had 1. The boxes sat on the kitchen counter, grease soaking through the cardboard. Jamie came downstairs when I called him. He looked at the pizza and said, I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten since lunch. I know. Jamie, please. He took 1 slice of pepperoni, picked off the pepperoni and ate it, left the bread and cheese on his plate. Then he went back upstairs. Claire watched the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about. He does this every single day. I stared at the uneaten slice on his plate. The cheese was congealed, cold. The next week passed in a blur. I worked from home, watching. Jamie ate cereal for breakfast. Sometimes toast. He'd take a few bites of whatever Claire made for lunch, then say he was full. Dinner was the same. Pick at his food. Excuse himself early. Meanwhile, Tyler and Madison ate like normal kids. Seconds, sometimes thirds. Claire kept the pantry stocked with their favorite snacks: goldfish crackers, fruit snacks, granola bars. Jamie never asked for snacks. On Thursday, I found him in the garage. He was standing near the trash cans, holding something in his hand. "What are you doing?" I asked. He jumped, shoved whatever he was holding into his pocket. "Nothing." "Jamie." I said nothing. He walked past me and went inside. I checked the trash cans. Nothing unusual. Just regular garbage. But when I went back inside, I noticed something. Jamie's backpack was open on the mudroom bench. I looked inside. 3 granola bars, 2 juice boxes, a sleeve of crackers. He was hoarding food. That night, after everyone was asleep, I sat in the dark kitchen and thought about Richard, about the conversation we'd had before he died. He'd been so weak, could barely lift his head, but he'd grabbed Michael's hand and made him promise, "Take care of our boy." He'd said, "Make sure Jamie's always safe." Michael had promised, and then he'd asked me to help, to watch over Jamie when his hospital shifts kept him away for days at a time. I'd failed them both. I'd been so focused on keeping the bills paid, on maintaining the insurance, on making sure we didn't lose the house, that I'd missed something happening right in front of me. The next morning, I made a decision. I called my boss and told him I needed to take a week off. He wasn't happy. We had audits scheduled, but I didn't care. "Family emergency," I said. After I hung up, I went to Claire. "I'm staying home next week." She looked surprised. "Why?" "I need to be here." "For Jamie?" "Yes." She set down her coffee. "Edith, I told you, he's fine. You're making this into something it's not." "Maybe, but I'm staying anyway." Her expression hardened. "You don't trust me." "I didn't say that. You didn't have to." She picked up her coffee and walked away. That weekend, I watched everything. Every meal, every interaction. Claire was polite to Jamie, never raised her voice, but there was something underneath. A coldness. She'd smile at Madison and Tyler, ruffle their hair, ask about their day. With Jamie, she was efficient, distant. On Sunday night, I tucked him into bed. "I'm staying home this week." His face lit up, just for a second. Then he controlled it. "Okay. We can do whatever you want. Movies, video games, whatever. Can we go to the park?" "Of course." He smiled, a real smile. The first one I'd seen in weeks. "I love you, buddy." "Love you too, Grandma." I kissed his forehead and left the room. In the hallway, I passed Claire. She didn't say anything, just looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. That night, I lay in bed and made a plan. If something was wrong, I was going to find out what it was. And if Claire was hiding something, I was going to uncover it. I just needed proof. Monday morning, I drove to Best Buy. The parking lot was half empty. Inside, a kid with a name tag that said, "Brandon," asked if I needed help. Security cameras, the kind you can check from your phone. He led me to an aisle filled with options. Wireless. Motion activated. Night vision. I chose a system with 6 cameras, small, discreet. The box said they could record for 30 days on a memory card. "Installing these yourself?" Brandon asked at checkout. "Yes, they're pretty easy. Just download the app and follow the instructions." I paid cash. $847.32. Carried the box to my car and sat there for a minute, staring at it on the passenger seat. This felt wrong. Spying on my own house. On my daughter-in-law. But Jamie's face kept appearing in my mind. Those hollow cheeks. That forced smile. When I got home, Claire's car was gone. A note on the counter said she'd taken Madison and Tyler to the dentist. Jamie was at school. I had 2 hours. I set up the first camera in the kitchen, tucked behind the microwave where the cord blended with other appliances. The second went in the dining room, angled to capture the table. The third in the living room. The fourth in the hallway near Jamie's bedroom. The fifth in the garage. The sixth I kept as a spare. The app synced immediately. I could see every angle on my phone, crystal clear, timestamps in the corner. I tested it, walked through each room, waved at the cameras. On my phone, I watched myself move through my own house like a stranger. By the time Claire got home, I'd hidden the box in my car and deleted the purchase from our shared credit card statement. She'd never know. That week I stayed home, made breakfast, drove Jamie to school, picked him up, helped with homework. Every moment I watched. Claire was careful, polite. She made dinners that looked healthy: chicken breast, steamed broccoli, brown rice. She put equal portions on every plate, but Jamie still barely ate. "Try the chicken," I'd say. He'd take a bite, chew, swallow, then push the plate away. Claire would look at me with that expression. "See? I told you." On Thursday, my boss called. "Edith, we need you in Houston. The Pembroke audit is falling apart. Jenkins can't handle it alone. I'm in the middle of something. It's 2 weeks. Max. They're paying double rate." I looked at Jamie, sitting at the kitchen table doing math homework. He was using a pencil that was too short, worn down to almost nothing. "I can't. Edith, this is a $500,000 contract. If we lose it..." I said I can't. Silence on the other end. Then, "You have until Friday to reconsider. After that, I'm giving it to Morrison." He hung up. Claire was in the doorway. "You're turning down work? I need to be here." "For how long? Until Jamie magically starts eating? As long as it takes." She shook her head. "You're going to lose your job over this." "Maybe." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed doing math. Our mortgage was $2,190 a month. Car payments, $680. Insurance, $340. Utilities, $200. Groceries, $800. Michael contributed what he could, but his resident salary barely covered his own expenses. If I lost my job, we'd burn through savings in 4 months. But if I left and something happened to Jamie, I couldn't finish the thought. Friday morning, my boss called again. "Morrison's on his way to Houston. You're officially off the Pembroke account." "Understood." "Edith, what's going on with you?" "Family situation." "Can't Claire handle it?" I almost laughed. No, she can't. After I hung up, I sat at my desk and stared at the wall. 23 years of building a career. Gone because I'd said no twice. But when I went downstairs and saw Jamie at the breakfast table, eating dry Cheerios one at a time, I knew I'd made the right choice. That weekend, I took Jamie to the park. Just the two of us. We threw a football. He was slower than he used to be. Winded after 10 minutes. We sat on a bench and split a bottle of water. "Grandma, can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Do you have to go back to work soon?" The question hit me in the chest. "Why?" "Just wondering. Do you want me to stay home?" He picked at the label on the water bottle. "It's okay if you have to go. I know your job is important. You're more important." He looked at me. "Really? Really?" He leaned against my shoulder. We sat there for a long time, watching other kids play. Normal kids. Healthy kids. When we got home, Claire was cooking dinner. Pork chops, mashed potatoes, green beans. The kitchen smelled like garlic and butter. Jamie ate 3 bites of pork, 2 spoonfuls of potatoes. Claire watched him with tight lips. After dinner, I went to my office and checked my bank account. The Pembroke audit would have paid $43,000. Money we needed. Money I'd just turned down. I opened my email. A message from my boss. "Final warning. Dallas audit starts Monday. You're either on it or you're fired." I stared at the screen. Dallas was 3 weeks. Maybe 4 if there were complications. By the time I got back, Jamie could be... I closed the laptop. Sunday night, I made my decision. I went to Claire. "I have to take the Dallas audit." She looked up from her phone. "Finally. But I'm installing a nanny cam before I go." Her expression changed. "What?" "For security, in case something happens while I'm gone." "You mean to spy on me?" "No, for safety." "Edith, that's insulting. It's not negotiable." She stood up. "You know what? Fine. Install your cameras. Watch me take care of your grandson while you're off making money. See how hard it actually is." She left the room. I heard her footsteps on the stairs, the bedroom door closing. I sat there in the empty living room, wondering if I'd just made a terrible mistake. Monday morning, I packed for Dallas. Jamie watched from my bedroom doorway. "How long this time? 3 weeks? Maybe 4. His face fell. "That's a long time." "I know. I'm sorry." "It's okay." But it wasn't okay. I could see it in his eyes. I knelt down in front of him. "If anything happens, you call me, day or night. I don't care what time it is." "Okay. I mean it, Jamie. Anything feels wrong, you call." He nodded. Then he hugged me. His arms felt thin around my neck, fragile. Before I left, I checked the cameras on my phone. All 6 angles. perfect clarity. The app would save every recording to the cloud. 30 days of storage. I kissed Jamie goodbye. Hugged Madison and Tyler. Claire stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "See you in a few weeks," she said. The drive to the airport felt endless. I kept thinking about Jamie's face, that forced smile, the way he'd said, "It's okay," when nothing was okay. At the gate, I pulled out my phone and opened the camera app. I could see the living room, empty, the kitchen, empty, the dining room. Claire walked past, carrying laundry. Everything looked normal. I boarded the plane and turned off my phone. For the next 3 weeks, those cameras would be my eyes. They'd show me what really happened in that house when I wasn't there. I just wasn't sure I wanted to see it. The Dallas audit consumed my days. Numbers that didn't balance, missing invoices, a CFO who lied about everything. I worked 14-hour shifts in a windowless conference room and thought about Jamie every minute. At night, in my hotel room, I'd open the camera app, watch the recordings at double speed. Claire making breakfast, kids eating cereal, Claire driving them to school. Normal. Everything looked normal. Until day 8. I was eating takeout Chinese at 11:47 p.m., scrolling through that day's footage. Kitchen camera, 6:15 p.m. Claire was cooking dinner. Something on the stove. Madison and Tyler were setting the table. Jamie came downstairs, sat in his usual chair. Claire brought plates to the table. I couldn't see what was on them from the camera angle, but I could see Madison's face light up. Tyler clapped his hands. Then Claire walked toward Jamie's chair. She held a paper plate, the kind you use at picnics. She bent down, set something on the floor, next to Jamie's chair. My chest tightened. Jamie looked down at the floor, then up at Claire. He said something I couldn't hear. Claire pointed at the floor. Jamie shook his head. Claire grabbed his arm, pulled him off the chair. He landed on his knees. She pointed at the floor again. Jamie started crying. Claire stood there, arms crossed, waiting. Madison and Tyler were eating. Whatever was on their plates, they were focused on it. Not looking at Jamie. Not looking at Claire. Jamie bent forward, put his hands on the floor, like a dog. He lowered his head toward the paper plate. I couldn't breathe. He ate. Whatever was on that plate, he ate it off the floor while his stepmother watched and his step-siblings ignored him. When he finished, Claire picked up the paper plate and threw it in the trash. Jamie climbed back into his chair. His face was red, wet with tears. Claire served herself and sat down. Normal dinner, normal conversation, like nothing had happened. I watched the video 3 times. Then I checked the date. November 18th, Richard's death anniversary. She'd made my grandson eat off the floor on his grandfather's death anniversary. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the phone. I closed the app and sat there in that hotel room, staring at the wall. Then I opened the app again, went back further. Day 7, day 6, day 5. Every dinner was the same. Claire cooked, real food, steaks, pasta, roasted chicken. She plated it beautifully for Madison and Tyler. Then she'd scrape scraps onto a paper plate and put it on the floor for Jamie. Sometimes he cried. Sometimes he just obeyed. Always he ate on the floor. I scrolled back further. 2 weeks of recordings. The pattern was clear. When I'd been home, Claire had been careful. She'd put food on Jamie's regular plate. He'd refused it. She'd looked exasperated, played the role perfectly. But the moment I left for Dallas, everything changed. I found one video from day 3, kitchen camera, 7:42 p.m. Jamie was sitting at the table. Claire brought Madison and Tyler their plates. Filet mignon, garlic mashed potatoes, asparagus. Then she looked at Jamie. "Your grandma's not here to baby you. In this house, dogs eat on the floor." She put a paper plate down. Dinner scraps, fat trimmed from the steaks, leftover potato skins, asparagus stems. Jamie didn't move. Claire leaned close to him. "Eat it or starve. Your choice." He sat there for 3 minutes. Then he got down on the floor and ate. I watched 47 videos that night. Every single dinner from the past 2 weeks. The pattern was always the same. Claire cooked expensive meals for her children. She made Jamie eat scraps off the floor. In one video, Tyler asked, Why does Jamie eat down there? Claire said. Because he doesn't appreciate good food. Dogs eat on the floor. That's where he belongs. Madison giggled. Jamie cried. I saved every video, downloaded them to my laptop, backed them up to 3 different cloud services, 47 files, each one time-stamped, each one showing clear abuse. By 3 a.m., I'd stopped crying. Something cold had settled in my chest. Something calculated. I opened my laptop and typed an email to my boss. Family emergency. Leaving Dallas immediately. Will forfeit payment for incomplete audit. I didn't wait for his response. I booked a flight home. The earliest one left at 6:17 a.m. I'd be in Toledo by noon. I packed my bag. Checked out of the hotel at 4:45 a.m. Drove to the airport in the dark. On the plane, I watched the videos again, made a list of dates and times, wrote down everything Claire had said, every moment Jamie had cried, every time Madison and Tyler had laughed. The man next to me asked if I was okay. I said yes. He didn't believe me. He moved to a different seat. I landed at 11:56 a.m. Drove home without stopping. My phone buzzed with messages from my boss. I didn't read them. Claire's car was in the driveway. Good. I wanted her there. I parked on the street and sat for a minute, looking at the house. The white siding Richard had painted himself years ago, the blue shutters I'd picked out, the front door where we'd taken Jamie's first day of school photos every year since kindergarten. This house should have been safe. I got out of the car and walked to the front door, used my key, opened it quietly. The smell of cooking meat hit me immediately. Something on the grill. I could hear Claire's voice in the backyard, Madison laughing, Tyler shouting about something. I set my bag down in the mudroom, took my laptop out, walked through the kitchen to the sliding glass door. They were all outside. Claire at the grill, flipping burgers, Madison and Tyler on the trampoline, Jamie sitting in a chair by himself, watching. He saw me first. His face transformed. Grandma, Claire turned around. Edith, you're home early. We need to talk. Can it wait? I'm in the middle of cooking. No, it can't wait. Something in my voice made her turn off the grill. Kids, go inside. Madison and Tyler ran past me into the house. Jamie followed, but slower. He kept looking back at me like he was afraid I'd disappear. Claire wiped her hands on her apron. What's wrong? Inside. We went into the kitchen. Claire stood by the counter. I opened my laptop and connected it to the TV in the living room, the one Richard had bought for Super Bowl parties with Michael. What are you doing? Claire asked. I didn't answer. I queued up the first video. November 18th. 6:15 p.m., kitchen camera. I pressed play. Claire's face appeared on the screen. Cooking dinner. Then the moment. The paper plate on the floor. Jamie crying. Eating like an animal. Claire went white. Edith, don't. I played the next video. And the next. And the next. 20 minutes of footage. Different days. Same pattern. Claire serving her children real food. Making my grandson eat garbage off the floor. When I stopped, Claire was shaking. You were spying on me. I was protecting my grandson. He's dramatic. I have 47 videos. My voice was calm, cold. 47 times you made him eat off the floor. 47 times you called him a dog. 47 times you abused my grandson. I never hit him. You humiliated him. You starved him. You watched him cry and you laughed. Jamie was standing in the doorway. I hadn't heard him come back. His face was frozen, watching himself on the TV, watching his stepmother's cruelty played back in high definition. Claire saw him too. Jamie, I'm sorry, I was just... Get out, I said. What? Get out of my house. This is Michael's house too. Michael's not here, and when he gets home he'll see these videos, every single one. I pulled a folder from my laptop bag, documents I'd printed at the Dallas Hotel Business Center. Richard made sure this house stayed in my name when he died. Legal documents. You have no claim to it. Her hands were shaking. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. She looked at Jamie. I'm sorry. I was stressed. Your grandma was always gone and I... Stop talking. I stepped between them. You don't get to speak to him. Ever again. Claire's face crumpled. She started crying. Please, I can change. I'll do better. 30 minutes. Pack and leave. She ran upstairs. I could hear drawers opening, slamming, Madison asking what was wrong, Tyler starting to cry. I knelt in front of Jamie. "Are you okay?" He shook his head. Then he collapsed against me and sobbed. I held him until his breathing slowed, until the shaking stopped, until he pulled back and wiped his eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "For what?" "For not telling you. You have nothing to be sorry for. Nothing. This was not your fault." Upstairs, Claire was loading suitcases. Madison and Tyler were crying. The whole house felt like it was breaking. But Jamie was in my arms. Safe. Finally safe. Claire left at 2:34 p.m. 2 suitcases, 1 garbage bag of clothes, Madison and Tyler crying in the back seat of her sedan. She didn't look back. I stood in the doorway and watched her drive away. Jamie was beside me, his hand in mine. "Where will they go?" he asked. "Her sisters. In Columbus. Will Madison and Tyler be okay?" Even after everything, he was worried about them. That's the kind of kid he was. "They'll be fine." We went inside. The house felt different, lighter, like something poisonous had been removed. I made Jamie lunch, real lunch, turkey sandwich, apple slices, chips, a glass of milk. He sat at the kitchen table and stared at it. "You can eat it at the table?" I said gently. "You never have to eat off the floor again. Never." He picked up the sandwich, took a bite, chewed slowly, like he was testing whether this was real. "It's good," he said quietly. I sat across from him and watched him eat. Every bite felt like a victory. My phone rang. Claire's name. I declined the call. It rang again. Declined. A text appeared. "Please let me explain." I blocked her number. At 4:00 p.m., the doorbell rang. I looked through the window. A woman in a gray suit, badge on her belt. I opened the door. "Mrs. Winslow, I'm Detective Sarah Chen with Toledo PD. I need to speak with you about a report filed this afternoon." My stomach dropped. "What report?" "May I come in?" I led her inside. Jamie was upstairs in his room. Detective Chen sat on the couch and pulled out a notepad. "Your daughter-in-law, Claire Winslow, filed a complaint. She claims you fabricated evidence and threw her out of the house without cause. She's requesting a restraining order against you." I almost laughed. "She filed a restraining order against me?" "Yes, ma'am. I need to hear your side. Do you want to see the videos?" Her expression shifted. "What videos?" I showed her everything, all 47 clips. Detective Chen watched in silence. Her jaw got tighter with each video. When it finished, she closed her notepad. "Mrs. Winslow, I need to ask. Did you file a report about this abuse?" "Not yet. It just happened today. You need to file one. Now. I'll help you." She spent the next hour taking my statement, asked questions about dates, times, how long it had been happening, whether Jamie had any physical injuries. "Malnutrition," I said. "He's lost 26 pounds in 8 months. Has he seen a doctor?" "I have an appointment scheduled for next week." "Move it up. Tomorrow, if possible. We'll need medical documentation." After she left, I called the pediatrician, explained it was urgent. They fit us in at 9 a.m. the next morning. That night, I made Jamie's favorite dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, the real kind Richard used to make for him, homemade sauce, fresh Parmesan. Jamie ate 2 full plates. "I forgot what it felt like to be full," he said. The words broke something inside me. The next morning, Dr. Morrison examined Jamie, weighed him, measured him, asked questions I could barely answer without crying. "He's severely underweight," she said. "Border of clinical malnutrition. I'm ordering blood work. We need to check for organ damage." "Organ damage?" When children are starved over extended periods, it affects everything. Heart, kidneys, liver. We need to make sure there's no permanent damage. I held Jamie's hand while they drew blood. He didn't cry. He just stared at the wall like he'd learned to endure things quietly. Dr. Morrison gave me paperwork, nutritional guidelines, meal plans, a referral to a child psychologist. "He'll need therapy," she said. "This kind of abuse leaves scars we can't see." That afternoon, Detective Chen called. Claire's restraining order was denied. The judge saw the videos. He's issued an emergency protective order instead. She can't come within 500 feet of you or Jamie. What about Madison and Tyler? They're being evaluated by Child Protective Services. Claire's sister is cooperating. So far, there's no evidence she abused her own children. Just mine. Yes, ma'am, just yours. I hung up and sat in my car outside the police station. Jamie was in the passenger seat playing a game on my phone. Grandma, are we going home? Yeah, buddy, we're going home. That evening, the doorbell rang again. This time, it was a woman I didn't recognize, mid-50s, graying hair, nervous hands. Mrs. Winslow? I'm Barbara Chen, Claire's mother. I almost closed the door. Please, she said. I just need 5 minutes. Against my better judgment, I let her in. Jamie was upstairs. I kept my voice low. What do you want? Barbara sat on the edge of the couch. I saw the videos. The police showed me. Good. Then you know what your daughter did. I had no idea. Claire told me Jamie was a difficult child. She said he refused to eat. She said you and Michael were never home and she was overwhelmed. She lied. I know. Barbara's voice cracked. I know that now, and I'm sick over it. That poor boy. What she did to him. Why are you here? Because I need you to know something. Madison told me the truth this morning. She said Claire made her and Tyler promise not to tell you or Michael. She said if they told, you'd send them away, and they'd never see their friends again. My hands clenched. She threatened them. She manipulated them. They're 8 and 6. They didn't understand what was happening. They thought it was normal. It's not normal. I know. That's why I'm here. To tell you that I'm testifying against her. Whatever the police need, whatever the courts need, I'll give it to them. She's my daughter, but what she did was unforgivable. I stared at this woman, this grandmother who'd just learned her daughter was a monster. Why? I asked. Why would she do this? Barbara shook her head. I've been asking myself that all day. The only thing I can think of is jealousy. Jamie is yours and Michael's. Madison and Tyler are hers. Maybe she resented that Michael had a child from before. Maybe she wanted to erase that part of his life by starving him. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I'm so sorry. I should have visited more. I should have paid attention. I should have... It's not your fault. It feels like it is. We sat in silence for a moment. How is he? Barbara asked quietly. He'll survive, but he's different now. Quieter, more cautious. Will you let him see Madison and Tyler again? When this is over? I thought about it. If Jamie wants to, it's his choice. But Claire is never coming near him again. Ever. I understand. After she left, I went upstairs. Jamie was in his room, reading a book Richard had given him years ago. Treasure Island. Who was that? He asked. Claire's mom. She came to apologize. Is Claire going to jail? Maybe, I don't know yet. He nodded. Went back to his book. I sat on the edge of his bed. Jamie, I'm so sorry I didn't see what was happening. He looked up. You were working. You didn't know. I should have known. I should have been here. It's okay, Grandma. It's not okay. None of this is okay. But it's over now. I promise you, it's over. He set the book down and hugged me. I'm glad you came home. Me too, buddy. Me too. That night, I called Michael. He was between shifts at the hospital. Mom? What's wrong? I told him everything. The videos, Claire's abuse, the police report, Barbara's visit. The silence on the other end lasted so long, I thought the call had dropped. Michael, I'm here. His voice was shaking. I need to see those videos. Are you sure? I need to see what she did to my son. I sent him the files. Heard him watching them through the phone. Heard him start to cry. I should have been there, he said. I should have known. We both should have. I'm coming home. Tonight. I don't care about the shift. Michael, you can't just... My son was being abused in my own house. I'm coming home. He arrived at 3 a.m., walked straight to Jamie's room. I watched from the doorway as he sat on the edge of the bed and touched his son's hair. Jamie woke up. Dad? Hey, buddy. I'm here. I'm so sorry. I'm here now. They held each other and cried. And for the first time in 8 months, I believed we might actually be okay. 3 months later, I stood in a courtroom and watched Claire plead guilty to child abuse and neglect. She wore a gray suit, hair pulled back. She looked smaller than I remembered. The judge read the charges: 2 counts of child endangerment, 1 count of psychological abuse. The prosecutor had recommended 18 months in county jail. Claire's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, my client recognizes the harm she caused. She's seeking mental health treatment. She's cooperating fully with the investigation." The judge looked at Claire. "Do you have anything to say?" She turned toward me, toward Jamie sitting beside me, with Michael on his other side. "I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know that I'm sorry." Jamie's hand tightened around mine. He didn't say anything. The judge sentenced her to 14 months, mandatory counseling, supervised visitation with Madison and Tyler, permanent restraining order from Jamie. When it was over, Detective Chen met us in the hallway. "How are you holding up?" "Better," I said. She looked at Jamie. "You did the right thing. You know that, right?" He nodded. He'd been nodding a lot lately, still finding his voice again. Michael put his hand on Jamie's shoulder. "Let's go home." We drove home in silence. Jamie stared out the window. The bare trees were starting to bud. Spring was coming early this year. At home, I made lunch: grilled cheese and tomato soup. Jamie ate 2 sandwiches. His weight was up to 71 pounds, still too thin, but better. "Doctor, Morrison said he was making progress." My phone buzzed. A text from my new boss at Miller & Associates, a local accounting firm. "Can you take the Springfield audit next week? In town. No travel. 3 days max." I typed back, "Yes. After Richard died, I thought I'd have to travel forever to maintain our lifestyle, but I'd found something better. Local work, smaller clients, less money, but I was home every night." Michael had reduced his shifts at the hospital. He was home more now, too. We'd worked out a system. I handled mornings and evenings. He covered afternoons and weekends. Jamie was never alone with just Claire's memory anymore. Jamie finished his soup and carried his bowl to the sink. "Can I go to Marcus's house?" Marcus lived 3 doors down. They'd become friends in the past month. Jamie was smiling more, playing outside, acting like a 10-year-old again. "Be back by 5. He grabbed his bike and rode down the driveway. I watched him go. Strong, steady. The kid who used to wobble was now confident. Michael joined me at the window. "He's doing better." "He is." "I should have seen it, Mom. I should have known what she was doing." "We both should have, but we can't change the past. We can only do better now." He nodded. "I filed for divorce. It'll be final next month." "How do you feel about that?" "Relieved and guilty and angry, all at the same time. That's normal." We stood there together, watching Jamie ride down the street, father and son, both of us trying to make up for lost time. I went to my office and opened my laptop. The videos were still there, backed up in 3 places. Evidence that had put Claire in jail and saved my grandson. I thought about deleting them, moving on. But something stopped me. These videos weren't just evidence. They were proof. Proof that I'd failed to see what was happening. Proof that I'd prioritized work over family. Proof that I'd let someone hurt Jamie for 8 months before I noticed. I closed the laptop and went to the kitchen, pulled out ingredients for dinner: chicken parmesan, Jamie's new favorite. While I cooked, I thought about the past 3 months, the therapy sessions, the legal meetings, the nights Jamie woke up crying from nightmares, but also the good things. The moments when he laughed, the day he asked for seconds at dinner, the morning he said, "I'm glad you're my grandma." At 5:15 he came home, face flushed from riding, hair messy. "How was Marcus's?" "Good. We built a fort in his backyard." "Sounds fun." He went upstairs to shower. I set the table. 3 plates now, 3 glasses of milk, a basket of garlic bread. Normal. Finally normal. At dinner, Jamie told us about the fort, about Marcus's dog, about a game they'd invented involving sticks and a soccer ball. Michael and I listened and watched him eat. Every bite was a reminder that we'd survived. After dinner, Jamie helped me with dishes. I washed, he dried. Michael cleaned the table. "Grandma, can I ask you something?" "Always." "Are you happy?" The question caught me off guard. "What do you mean?" "You don't travel anymore. You make less money. Are you happy?" I looked at him, this kid who'd been through hell and was worried about me. "I'm happier than I've been in years." "Really?" "Really. Being home with you is worth more than any job." He smiled, a real smile, the kind that reached his eyes. Michael finished wiping the counter. Same here, buddy. I'd rather be here with you than anywhere else. Jamie looked between us. I'm lucky to have you guys. We're lucky to have you, I said. That night, after Jamie went to bed, Michael and I sat on the back porch with coffee. The air was cool, clear, stars visible for the first time in weeks. I got a call from Barbara today, Michael said. Madison and Tyler asked about Jamie. They miss him. I stared at my coffee. What did you tell her? That maybe in a few months, when Jamie's ready. That's good. They were victims too in their own way. Mom, I need to ask you something. Do you blame me? For what? For marrying her. For bringing her into our lives. For not seeing what she was. I looked at my son. This man who'd lost his father, married the wrong woman, and almost lost his son because of it. No, I don't blame you. She fooled both of us. But if I hadn't… Michael, you can't live in the if I hadn't. We both made mistakes. We both missed signs. But we fixed it. We saved him. That's what matters. He nodded, wiped his eyes. We sat in silence for a while. I'm thinking about selling the house, he said finally. Why? Too many bad memories. I want Jamie to have a fresh start, somewhere Claire never touched. Where would you go? I don't know yet. Maybe closer to the hospital. Maybe a different neighborhood entirely. But somewhere new. I thought about it. About leaving this house where Richard and I had raised Michael. Where I'd held Jamie as a baby. Where so much life had happened. But also where Claire had tortured my grandson for 8 months. I think that's a good idea, I said. The next morning, I drove Jamie to his therapy appointment. Dr. Reeves was a child psychologist who specialized in trauma. She'd been working with Jamie twice a week. While he was in session, I sat in the waiting room and checked my email. A message from my old boss. Heard you landed at Miller & Associates. Good for you. You deserve better than what we put you through. I didn't respond. At 11, Dr. Reeves called me into her office. Jamie was still in the other room, playing with Legos. How's he doing? I asked. Better. He's opening up more, talking about what happened, processing the trauma. That's a good sign. Does he blame us? His father and me? She looked surprised. For what? For not seeing it sooner. For working so much. For leaving him with her. Mrs. Winslow. Children who've been abused rarely blame the non-offending parents. They understand you didn't know. What matters now is that you're here, that Michael's here, that Jamie feels safe again. We quit our jobs. We're home every night. He knows, and it's making all the difference. After the appointment, I took Jamie to lunch, a diner near the house. We sat in a booth by the window. He ordered a cheeseburger and fries, ate almost everything. Dr. Reeves says I'm doing good, he said between bites. You are. I'm proud of you. For what? For being strong. For getting through this. He shrugged. I didn't have a choice. You did. You could have given up, but you didn't. He looked at me. I wanted to sometimes. I know. But then I thought about you and Dad, about how you'd feel if something happened to me. My throat tightened. I'm glad you didn't give up. Me too. We finished lunch and drove home. As we pulled into the driveway, Jamie said, Grandma, I have something to tell you. Okay. I don't hate Claire. I turned off the engine. You don't? No, I'm mad at her. And I don't want to see her, but I don't hate her. That's very mature of you. Dr. Reeves says hating people just makes you sick inside. She says I should feel what I feel, but not let it control me. Dr. Reeves is smart. He nodded. I also wanted to say thank you. For what? For coming home. For believing me. For making it stop. I reached over and hugged him. You never have to thank me for that. Ever. That evening, I got a call from Detective Chen. Wanted to give you an update. Claire's being transferred to a treatment facility. She'll serve the rest of her sentence there. Why? Suicide attempt. Last night. She's on suicide watch now. I didn't feel anything. No satisfaction. No pity. Just emptiness. How are Madison and Tyler? With their grandmother. They're doing okay. Barbara's been great with them. After I hung up, I told Michael and Jamie. Jamie was quiet for a long time. Is she going to die? He asked. No, they're helping her. Good. I don't want her to die. I just don't want her near me. She won't be. I promise. 6 months after that courtroom hearing, Jamie gained 15 pounds. He joined the soccer team, made honor roll, started sleeping through the night without nightmares. I took a promotion at Miller & Associates, regional supervisor, more pay, still no travel. Michael moved us to a new house. Smaller, brighter, no ghosts. Claire served her sentence, got out on good behavior, moved to Florida, sent a letter apologizing. Michael read it once and threw it away. Jamie never asked about it. Madison and Tyler visited twice, supervised visits at a park. The first time was awkward. The second time was better. They played soccer, laughed. Jamie even hugged them goodbye. On the 1-year anniversary of the day I'd found those videos, I took Jamie and Michael out for dinner. Jamie's choice. He picked Red Lobster. We sat in a booth and ordered too much food. Shrimp, crab legs, biscuits. "Do you ever think about that time?" Jamie asked. "Sometimes," I said. "Me too. But it feels like a long time ago now." Michael reached across the table and squeezed his son's hand. "It was a long time ago. We're different people now. Are you still mad at Claire?" Jamie asked me. I thought about it. "No, I'm not mad anymore. I'm just glad it's over." "Me too." He cracked a crab leg and pulled out the meat. Dipped it in butter. Ate it with a smile. Normal. We were normal again. That night I sat in my office and opened my laptop. The videos were still there. 47 files. Evidence of 8 months of cruelty. I selected all of them. Moved them to the trash. Emptied the trash. They were gone. I didn't need them anymore. The past was the past. What mattered was now. Jamie was safe, healthy, happy. Michael was present, engaged, healing. I'd quit the job that had taken me away from them, found work that kept me close, built a life where I was present. Richard's voice echoed in my mind one last time. "Take care of our boy." I had. Finally, completely, I had. I closed my laptop and went upstairs. Jamie's bedroom door was open. He was asleep, face peaceful, breathing steady. I pulled his blanket up to his shoulder, kissed his forehead, whispered, "I love you." Then I went to my room and slept without nightmares for the first time in a year. The boy who disappeared at dinner had come back, and this time we'd make sure he never disappeared again.